Hello, Tricia Andreassen here, helping you unlock your joy, your peace, your wisdom, your understanding, all those things that lie inside of you, as well as your strength, to help you find the way back to you. As I said that in my voice, helping you find your joy, I am going to show you some collage art. And while we're doing that, I want to talk to you. This is collage art that I was making last night, and I thought I would just come on and show you more of it. So this is what I've got so far. I'm going to be blending in around the butterfly and so forth. This morning, I was just resting on my cottage front porch. And then I was having a conversation with my sister. We talk at least once a week. We actually schedule it so that way we make sure that we stay connected. Use my some of my wash. And I'm just putting wash on here. But anyways, while I was talking to her on the phone, my sweet Gabby girl, she's a golden, she was whining and she had something in her mouth and she was like, I was like, what's wrong, Gabby? Like, because if something's wrong, she'll come and get me, you know, and she'll bark and then she'll run away. She doesn't have really a mean bone in her body. And I'm like, is that your baby that you lost or whatever? Because she has this little beanie baby that she just sleeps with every day, right? And I said, what's wrong? And so she drops a baby bunny right at the foot of, right at my feet. And as she dropped it, I went, oh no. And so I'm sure she heard my voice. And so she went over and where my pathway is to walk to the cottage, where she lays to almost like protect me or oversee. And she just like looked at me with like the little saddest eyes and everything. And so anyways, I was focused on, you know, the bunny, and normally that would really just like creep me out. And the only way I can say it is God's grace. Okay. Because I talk to the butterflies. I mean, I just love animals so much with all my heart. And so anyways, the little bunny was still warm and there was not even one bruise on her. So poor Gabby, which you might be saying, really? Poor Gabby, poor rabbit, right? Thought it was her baby, you know? And anyways, I took care of the little bunny and I buried and said a prayer for her. So I share that because doing collage art is so much more than just, oh, let me just sit and play, I think. I mean, it might start that way. But let me just kind of give you a rundown of some basics. Okay. First, this is hardstock copy paper. Well, not copy paper, like postcard paper. This is not as heavy as I would like, but I have it. So I was like, let me go ahead and use it. And then I separate the plies from the napkins, right? And I started putting in words. And so as this was coming, and this was before the rabbit scenario yesterday, I was like, okay, the words are over here. And interestingly enough, in the tissue paper was the word print, right? And I was like, wow, because I'm an author and, you know, I print books. And I'm a singer, and all of a sudden it was just like my subconscious or whatever you want to call it. I was like, okay, this paper is for me. I'm meant to sing my song, write my words, make sure that they're published. So that way all the blessings come and I can fly and soar. And so I was like, okay. So I just started collaging with paper. I usually use a large Mod Podge because I go through it. but it's still up at my main house, of course. But today, I let this, basically what I did is it was wet. I let it dry a little bit. And then what I did is I put a couple of heavy books on top of it after it was just dry to the touch. So that way it would smooth out. What's going to be really cool is if you have a printer that has a scanner on the top of it, you can scan it and you're going to see how incredibly awesome it'll come out as wrapping paper or mixed media art, where then you can change the words out. You can do so much when you start learning collaging. I should probably just have my whole teaching around collage art, because once you learn collage art, then you're able to start doing like these little cards, and doing some really neat things. And I'm going to a church function, almost like an old time camp meeting. I'm excited. And I'm going to put these in my album for when I meet somebody and I'm supposed to give it to them. So there you go. All right. So I'm just putting in words right now. And I was thinking about just life. I was thinking about Gabby, how she wanted to please me by bringing that rabbit. And then the rabbit, the baby rabbit was only like this big. So maybe 7 inches, you know, how the cycle of life is, you know, and that's just the reality. Sometimes we want to run from it, or sometimes we can embrace it and say, okay, I want to enjoy every day. So, because our bodies are fragile, right? So I went ahead and did make today count, and I'm going to let that dry. And then I'm going to like age it with a little bit of yellow over top of it, so it doesn't look so dominant that I just placed it there. And then I had these pieces of paper, and I didn't mean to put that much. My goodness sakes. That's why sometimes using a glue stick is good, and then the Mod Podge over top. But anyways, just happy accidents. So thinking about that and resting and really just giving myself some spiritual space, and being thankful for me for today. It's Thursday. It's Thankful Thursday. And I'm thankful so much for my sisters. My sister is really special to me. I'm thankful for my Facebook group that I started 21 days ago called fibromyalgiawomenwarriors.com, because those women have just been a blessing in my life. And I'm thankful to God. I'm thankful to his love and what he shows me. So this says, be good to yourself. So I'm just continuing to collage. I have, this is my coloring book that was on Amazon. Okay. But in the back of the coloring book, because I don't want it just to be a coloring book, I have words like affirmations in the back. So I'm going to go through this. I need to have something that says I will sing. I wonder if I put that in there, because I think that's an affirmation. So I'm strong, I'm courageous, I'm beautiful in God's eyes. I have boundaries. I taught a session on boundaries the other day. I hope I have something regarding sing. Okay, I don't have sing, but I have my voice matters in my book here. So I'm going to cut that out, that my voice matters. In fact, I was just talking to my mom and I said, I don't know why, but I feel I have the gift of allowing the Holy Spirit to work through me. Let me just say that. So I said, Mom, I know we're going to like this revival, and it might sound weird. God wants me to bring my art with me, like whether it's my palette knife and a canvas or my sketchbook with pastels. He wants me to paint while I'm listening to his word. I'm gonna do this right here near the bird. I really like it right there. And she was like, well, they may not let you do that or whatever. I said, well, how will I know until I bring my things? It's not, I'm only going to take up maybe 2 chairs of space and I can sit in the back. Well, if you sit in the back, my hearing's bad. I might not be able to hear. What if we need to sit up in front? I said, you know what? Let's not worry. Let's not worry of what's to come. I'm just going to be obedient and write and do some art while I'm listening to what I need to listen to. Whoops, that's the word matters. I don't want that to go there. I'm going to do the word voice. My voice matters. Oh, I love that. I love that. Here's the little ladybug. I picked up a ladybug the other day and I replaced her on a leaf so she wouldn't get maybe mowed over. I know I might sound too spiritual for y'all, but you know what? This is my time just to be me. And it's feeling really good. You know, instead of thinking about I mean, I know we have to think about like income and things like that. I mean, I know that that's life. Don't get me wrong. But I believe in this season for me, God is wanting to teach me really how to let go and let him handle the details that need to be handled and release the how and the worry and all of that. He's just wanting me to let it go. Truly let it go. And for somebody who's always been like a driver personality, okay, and wants to see goals accomplished and move people forward and see measurable results, I am learning that results may happen in incremental times. And I'm thinking about that as I'm cutting this butterfly, because it wasn't like, ta-da, and the butterfly was created, right? First, the milkweed, where, I don't know if it's, what is it before the caterpillar? Chrysalis was created in the milkweed. And then the caterpillar, and then the butterfly. You know, do we know how to, like, everything happens in its own time? You know, would we be able to handle change and grief and so forth possibly better if we just constantly trust the process? Makes me wonder. Now, this is a little bit harder paper, so this is not napkin. So what I'm doing is I'm holding it down. Now, if you don't want to have your hand stick, you can use a skewer. You can use the bottom of a scissor. You can just hold that down, just like that. This is going to come out so pretty. I can't wait to like scan it and copy it, and you see the next layer. So I'll actually come out with probably 2 different papers from this. I'll have one where I've scanned it, and then I'm going to do another layer of art around it. This just feels a little harsh to me. So let's just see. Well, I wanted to, my voice matters in singing and writing so I can grow and fly. And to do that, I have to make today count. I have to remind myself to be good to yourself. I have to remember the present. So I am going to rip up these little pieces of music tissue paper. Now, for me, this is very therapeutic because what happens is possibly emotions that I need to process when I'm not feeling well. I'm joyful, or I'm sad. It's interesting. I don't know if you know Tony Robbins, but I went to Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny. And we were talking about singing. Well, I actually did a live intervention on me in front of 3,000 people. That's another story. And it was awesome. He helped me so much. So if this video ever gets to Tony, thank you. But I was like, yeah, and I write songs and everything. And he says, okay, I need to ask you this. And I want you to think on it. He goes, when you wrote those songs, were those the time when you were in the most pain? Like wanting to soothe yourself? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And then he said, see how something so beautiful can come from your pain if you allow it. He was so right. And I'm not saying, hey, I want to live in pain. No, I'm not saying that because I want us to unlock our joy. But right now, doing this with you, I'm unlocking my joy because it feels so good to be reminded to make today count, to slow down and to look up at the sky and see those beautiful clouds, see the formations of those clouds, appreciate my eyesight because there's many that don't have it. Appreciate the moment. Be present with the new friends coming into my life. Be thankful in everything. Be thankful in my diagnosis of fibromyalgia because in the diagnosis came these amazing, loving women into my life that was not even on my radar. How cool is that? Where I went to sleep and I saw your messages and I was touched beyond measure. Just amazing. I think what I'm going to do also with this butterfly is I am going to go over with some pens and just bring out the color of this because I printed it and it was muted. I didn't mean to print it muted. What happened is I printed one of my papers that I had done and the print was out on my printer cartridge. And I was like, oh man. And then instead of throwing it away, I was like, wait a minute, I can totally use that paper for something else. So that's exactly what I did. And I'm going to go ahead right here. And I'm going to put a little bit of the music around this flower right here. Just a little music note. And you have to tell me if you like collaging or not, or if you like painting other things or just coloring. I love, I create coloring pages, right? And then I help you design the backgrounds and do some different things to turn them into mixed media art. And I really love doing that. That's very therapeutic for me too. So I have like go-to things that I do that are just make me happy. I mean, pretty flipping cool. I love it. La 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 la. Make today count. Be so good to yourself today. And remember, your voice matters. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Good. Okay. I'm going to let this dry a little more before I do phase 3. I'm not a fan about that little area right there. I'll probably do something there. But I'm going to let this dry so we can go back and maybe use paint pens or gel pens to accentuate some areas. For example, like, let me just show you what I mean. This is silver, so it's not like the best example. But my gel pens are up at the house. So, but what I might do is with a dominant color, let's see if I have a dominant color on me. With the dominant color, I might go over these circles. Here we go. Just like this. So I'm just going to infuse pops of color. Maybe not in all of them, because I like the gold, don't get me wrong. I'm just decorating. And this is a glitter pen. So I'm just kind of going over this red flower. I actually have an embossing pen. Who knows? I haven't done embossing yet. And I really want to. So we need to try that. But isn't it cool what you can do with leftover papers? Just some glue, some leftover napkins, and you can create your own art for just a little bit. You might not even spend anything. And I do recommend that you get some type of printer, because if you get a printer and scanner, what happens is then when you have this paper, you can then scan it. And in session 3, I'll show you how the scan takes off. And I think you'll be really excited about this. So this is actually Arteza pencil right now. So I'm just kind of going over with pencils. So I'm just going to continue to accentuate these areas, kind of bring to life. I have this little teeny flower. I saw some things like this on gofindyourhappy.com. And I also have gofindyourhappyshop.com, which is on Amazon, which will give you links to some of these napkins and resources. And I'll go back in there too. But like this little flower right here might be perfect. See, right in the middle. Oh, guys, I love that. But before I add her, I am going to scan. I'm going to go ahead and embellish this as much as I can before I do that. I'm going to not embellish. I'm going to collage as much as I can, okay? And where I've put white paper and you think, wow, that stands out, Tricia, how do I mix it in? This is just my hand. I love doing finger painting, girl, And I'm just dabbing over that just a little bit, because the make today count is just oh, by the way, it's not supposed to be stand out dominant. You know how you buy coffee mugs and it might be Unstoppable Warrior and it's really big, right? This is where we're just bringing in words and affirmations that inspire us, okay? love that. Just those little dots of yellow. See that right there? I'm just dabbing with my finger. These little dots of yellow. Love it. I may go in over top of these here and do just little dabs of blue. And you may see me add some little dabs of white. So there we are on session 2. So you saw session 1, I was talking to you a lot and then showing you the collage, but now you have the recipe for this next session, okay? All right, well, I'll see you on the next session where we start pulling everything together to get ready for printing, and then how to embellish that to a whole other level to turn it into frameable art. Okay, talk to you later, and don't forget to visit gofindyourhappyshop.com. That's the Amazon shop if you are looking for stickers and papers and some cool stuff, and or you can message me at gofindyourhappy.com. Okay, see you later.